me to start? Okay.
I will do an announcement. And I turn off my phone.
Come closer. Don't be afraid. They want to run away in a few minutes, so they don't want to sit closer.
No, it's like the trauma from the school. You know?
Dear guests, this is our special guest, Felix. He will do his workshop. I think that no special things to say about you is not necessary. Your work will show off.
Okay, gents, first of all, don't be hesitate. Feel free to ask about everything. If something will be not clear enough, if I will not, if I show you something which is new for you or not clear for you, just ask. As long as I'm here, I'm able to ask you to ask for your questions, and I'm here to show you my techniques. Know how to have scale models being painted. No, I'm going to show you how my way of paint work, and for this purpose I'm going to show some samples of techniques on this Messerschmitt. Because since this year Messerschmitt is one of the special category in this competition, I decided to use Messerschmitt from Eduard because first of all, because this is just a good model, and one of the important features of this scale model are these gentle panel lines and rivet lines. Rivet lines in the scale model are, first of all, good looking, but what is important, they make the paint work easier because they show in where to find some effects, where to apply, for example, pre-shading. They show in the pattern for many effects which you can apply on your miniature. As you can see, this is already pre-painted. I started with the silver base coat. I'm usually using, I'm not using surface primers for the aircraft models, but usually starting with the silver base coat. First of all, you can use it as a base for the paint chips, as for example they were made here. You can just scratch the paint on the surfaces to show its silver base, and in my opinion it looks best because these paint chips are done same as in real aircraft. For example, on this propeller there are applied silver base coat, and probably this one just very dark gray paint. And now I'll show you that it is easy and, let's say, safe for the scale model to scratch the paint from the surface. What is have to be noticed, it have to be silver paint, not metallizer paint, because metallizers have really thin layer on the surface, and they are very gentle and very fragile. It is really easy to make some scratches through the paint to the plastic or to the surface. This silver paint have a bit thicker coat. It's like a paint. So when you scratch the paints applied over it, the risk of scratching to the plastic is less. I'm using this not sharp side of the scalpel blade, and I'm able to scratch the paint. I forget to take with my tools, but it is also useful this metal brush for cleaning metal parts, and you can use this metal brush to scratch the paint off. Of course, if you need some bigger paint chips, you can apply some liquid masking fluid, apply with a piece of sponge. And as far as I remember, it was applied here, for example. So at the end, you can remove just with a finger, or you can use a toothpick to remove and show this silver base coat. And it also has to be finished with some more precise tools, for example, with scalpel blade or sewing needle to make some scratches over its surface. But this is not the main reason I'm using silver base coat for the aircraft models. Because my way of applying paints on the scale models is applying really subtle and transparent layers, not one covering flat paint, but applying them with layers, and this silver surface makes the result much more lighter, gives more light for the surface. As you see, some details for this miniature are separately, because, for example, the steering surfaces were made with different materials, which so I used different color for the base coat, and sometimes it is really it is easier to paint them separately. For example, core detail have to be painted in different color, different way, like this rear steer. So it was easier to paint it separately. Now I fix it, and I'm going to start with the paint work on the yellow surfaces. I noticed that quite often these RLM02 surfaces in scale models appears to be too dark in the final result, because yellow paint is really difficult to apply to be bright and yellow in the finish. After some wash, after some weathering, it appears to be greenish. It appears to be green or brown or other colors, but to achieve yellow tone, you have to apply multiple